Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Corbin, with my co-host, Tate. And today we have on Celestial Being and Vaughn of Pandamania. Welcome on, gentlemen. Good to have you on again.
Definitely, man. Really appreciate the opportunity to join you guys again for another interview in the podcast. I love seeing you guys' growth and from where you started and where you're headed.
Hey, likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We had you guys on episode 5 of our one of our first ever podcasts that we did, and we were barely even doing video back then.
Yes, man.
Crazy to see how far we've came from that, you know?
Yeah, actually seeing the growth is amazing, man. I didn't see the last one, but I did see the interview with Crypto Pandas. Everything you guys are doing is amazing. And seeing that growth is really good, exciting.
We appreciate that a lot.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thanks for having us again. And definitely, you guys have been killing it. Keep on.
So what's new, gentlemen?
Guys.
What are we up to?
Well, we just partnered with Clown Society, which is a new project on Hedera. Rudon's actually one of the co-leads on that project as well.
The Royal Council, if you will.
High Council. Actually, you're High Council.
Oh, right.
You're High Council. But we definitely just partnered. We actually have a connection now with Web2 businesses between Pandamania and Clown Society, which we just kicked off. We got our first rental truck, which has been sitting up for a week already, which sucks because we was waiting on the MC to clear, but we're definitely getting the next step forward, and it should be cleared Tuesday, and we should be on the road to do business.
Sick.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say rental truck, what are you actually going to be using that for?
Hauling loads.
Gotcha. So it's going to be more like it's like a semi truck in a way.
Yeah. So like,
but
we're starting off smaller box trucks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think if you guys want to explain to Tate, I don't think he's aware of the actual utility of the trucks.
Yeah, I've never known anything about the Panda Society utility.
Well, we only discussed that in Elite Pandas. They don't know.
Gotcha.
Nobody knows that yet. So yeah, we're still discussing that in Elite Pandas. So that's our boardroom.
You can drop.
For the record, I can cut that.
I mean, you can drop a little teaser. For us with the project, it's basically in what can we do to offer, utility and keep engagement up without, towing that line, where, the SEC or somebody's like coming to get us. Because at the end of the day, it's how do you keep your community engaged? How do you keep your community active? And what can you offer your community that everybody else isn't offering, right? So, because if you go through, a lot of people copy, a lot of people do the same thing. So how can we stand out from the rest of the ecosystem? And at the same time, trying to do our own thing, but at the same time helping the ecosystem grow, right? Kind of make sure you're still differentiating yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You want to be unique. You don't want to be copying everybody else.
Yeah,
exactly. So
and with
so that's basically like
with Vaughn,
when the idea came up for this box truck thing, we're like, all right, let's kind of like think this through and see how it would come into play and how this would benefit us, how this as a community, and so we basically had someone kind of handhold us on this whole process as well. So we didn't just go into this blind and like, oh, this is going to be like a new venture. So definitely.
So who's going to be driving it? Who's going to be operating these vehicles?
Oh, we actually have truckers. We actually have regular drivers that'll be hired to drive the trucks.
Okay, so they're certified and everything. It's just not somebody who bought the NFT.
No, I mean, no. Most of them probably won't even own the NFT side of it. But I actually thought about
that's good.
I actually thought about giving the drivers an NFT. Maybe setting aside some for the driver.
That'd be smart.
But maybe after like 3 months of service, they get the free NFT as a bonus, something like that. It depends.
How would So how will the holders of the NFT benefit from this trucking business?
Yeah, that's something that was only discussed in the boardroom. With the boardroom and everything still discussing. Yeah, that I was just telling Rudon about as well. But I can,
all right.
I would say this, but it's long-term benefits. I would definitely say that's the goal of trucking. It provides this foundation, whereas
longevity.
That way we could provide long-term stability, endurance, without having to like do consistent mints over and over and over anymore. So now we have this cash flow that's coming in from Web 2 businesses that creates a stronger foundation for Web 3 as well in our holders. So now, let's say I said something to one of our co-leads the other day. I said, I'm trying to create a project that's you don't have to flip. But I would never say that on paper because you can't promise anybody their investment back, especially for legal.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Of course. For sure.
And I'll add to that is that, like when you sell, your collection, especially if you sold out your collection like us, it's what do you do with those funds, right? And for us, it was, all right, you know what, we put in our effort, we got our payments. Now what we have with the reserve is like, what do we do with that? We don't want to rug anybody. We basically want to make sure that this is a long-term project. So, you have to kind of sit down and think about it. And we did have like a couple of sessions too, where like, should we go into merchandising? Should we develop QR codes on jackets and shirts and sell those? And, like those, it didn't become feasible for us because we were like, okay, but we're still selling the community something. Like, what are we doing that we can generate, resources that we can bring back to the community that we don't have to, basically sell them something. And, and this opportunity came up. We don't know if it's going to work out long term, but it's something that we're trying, right? So, we're positive that we want to, pull this off, basically, like all the other things that we've pulled off based throughout this whole project lifecycle. And, it's our goal to basically bring back a lot of value to the community, right? To all the holders of Panda Mania, Hashbingos, Panda Syndicates, and everything. So that's the goal. We're working hard, and our goal is to deliver.
Yeah, you're trying to bring the digital world to the physical world more, by more or less interoperating them together. But it's kind of funny that you say that, like with the clothing and stuff, because like recently, the other day, I was at work and this dude who I work with, he literally had a picture of an NFT on his vape.
Yeah, man.
Was it Stone Apes?
Wow.
Yep.
No, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Terrible. I saw that. I'm like, what is going on with society now? Everything's starting to shift.
Ryder Rips wants to know your location.
But now we gotta think about it.
It didn't even look like a Bored Ape, though.
Yeah,
it did not look like a Bored Ape at all.
But I think that's the way we're heading now. It's like that is your digital identity, right?
Yeah.
And Vaughn and I were discussing too. It's all right. Like right now, this truck that we have, the first one is just a rental, but eventually we're focusing on maybe owning one, right? For like that one, we could cover it all in, NFT art, right? It could be unique for our, project, and that could be advertising for this venture, right? So, but that's how people are going to identify themselves, on Web3, right? Either NFTs that you've acquired, and that's going to be your identity, or a group of NFTs, right? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many NFT projects were you guys working on again now? It's got to be upward, so over 5 now, yeah?
Well, we've had a lot of collaborations over the time.
Yeah.
So we had...
And the Mingos merged too.
Yeah, so the Hashbingos, Panda Syndicates, the Mutants, which is still also a part of Panda Syndicates, and we had the collaboration with the Lazy Superheroes, and who else?
Bones. Can't forget Bones.
And yeah, Farmer, yeah, and Bones.
Yep. Definitely can't forget them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I'll say this. I don't know if Vaughn wants to elaborate, but we've tried our best to also work with other, creators in the space. The Creamies project, we have something working with them. Um, you know, uh, you know, Babao and Lazy Superheroes. We have all the collaborative pieces that we had. I know he announced that the Lazy Superhero tokens are going to be used, or those collaboration pieces are going to earn Lazy Superhero tokens on his platform. So it's like we still haven't gotten, we still have not been forgotten, right? So even those pieces are still valuable, right? So still a close knit community, and we try our best to work and partner with everyone that we've kind of vetted, saying, okay, you know what? I think this group is also OG creator within their ecosystem.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, do you guys want to maybe go over the new stuff with the mutant pandas and all the stuff that's gone on with like the lady mingos and the regular hash mingos and stuff, and like how that all interacts together with your guys' token?
So let's say this. Everyone that knows Hashmigos is a deflationary collection. We have already burnt 3,000 since what is that, yesterday, maybe the day before yesterday. We have officially burnt 3,000 Hashmigos. The collection is not 10,000 anymore. It's now down to 7,000. So that's the goal. I'm thinking maybe stopping the burn around 5,000 Hashmigos. Then just focus on bringing the value up, or the floor price for the hash mingos. And we have the lady mingos, which was traded in, which was part of the hash mingos burnt, which burnt 1,500 plus hash mingos, 1,506 to be exact. Hash mingos itself, so it's responsible for half of the hash mingo burns. Then you had some hash mingos burnt for mutant pandas introduction. Then you got the mutant pandas that came in, which is the cream of our crop right now. We introduced something called H-Suite multi-staking rewards now. If anybody doesn't know, we have multi-staking rewards. You now own Mingo token and H-Suite token with our mutants, the lady Mingos, and the pandas. All of those have
one thing I have to ask about that is, I'm sorry for interrupting, but one thing I have to say is, are you guys based out of the US?
Yes.
Or Vaughn, yeah?
Yes.
Are you worried about the security laws with creating tokens on different networks?
Oh,
because that's one thing I've always been worried about, in a sense, with creating tokens.
Oh yeah, man.
I'll take this. I'll take this one. So yes, there's a concern, but at the same time, for our project, we can't let that stop us.
Of course,
I've heard the saying before: "Do what you need to do and beg for forgiveness later." So I think that's kind of been our style. It's that we need to launch a project, deliver on the project, and then keep the project alive. So yes, there might be other groups out there who take a different path, and for them, all the power to you, and I wish you the best of the luck, right? But for us, if we've encountered anything that is an issue when it comes to regulation and stuff like that, we'll handle it when that time comes. I will say this, that we've had situations where we've had to pay taxes, and we're accounting for that and dealing with that accordingly. The venture that we're doing now, it's all registered underneath a company, right?
That's good.
So we're doing what we need to do to take the project where it needs to go, where the minimum requirements are necessary. Outside of that, where there's a lot of gray when it comes to tokens and such like that. But for us, we're just trying to do the best that we can. A lot of the other projects that are out there, they're minting tokens we can't let that, regions, let me just put it like that. We can't let a specific region stop you from progressing the project forward.
Yeah. It's also difficult to be like, well, it's completely okay with creating tokens and stuff, but like it's difficult to like ask questions about these things because Web3 is so unknown by so many people in the real world. It's really hard to like ask these questions to like say a financial advisor or somebody who might have some knowledge with securities, but they don't have knowledge with Web3. You know?
Yeah. But it also doesn't help that there's no clarity at all, which is
exactly too. Yeah. I mean, there will be soon. There will be soon, but like
it better be.
Yeah, I mean, but I completely agree with you. But how far is soon? Soon could be 5 years from now. Soon could be tomorrow, right? So, if we waited on soon.
No, I would never wait on soon. I would just go, like you said before, and then ask for forgiveness.
I will say this. Think about all the fun that has happened in our Discords or on Twitter with like raffles and giveaways and, even when we did like some charity events and stuff like that, real world charity events. I know like we've done donations for other members who are like in our elite pandas and stuff like that. They were going through a situation. And we jumped up and helped them, So, it really, all of that would not have happened if we, kind of like told the line exactly or waited on somebody else to give us guidelines on, okay, this is how you should do it, right? So,
yeah.
And the thing about
makes sense.
And something else I want to say about tokens is it's really no rules or laws on it yet. Currently, because as you were saying, Tate, everything is still new about this whole entire system. And the main thing I've been reading, like evolving, like profit sharing, once you have liquidity on your token, it's almost like profit sharing in a way. But the only rule I read is making the community not say it's passive income. Once they start seeing it as a return on investment, passive income, those are like the red flags for most projects. Okay, one Mingo equals one Mingo. It doesn't equals one HBAR, although it says that, or it has a USD value. But in my mind, I want to say is, okay, this token is valued, what you perceive this value to be based on what's going on within our ecosystem. So,
and I'll add to that. Like, remember that it's used within our community, right? So it's like, what's the difference between us going on the beach and like, so we all live in this village on the beach and we trade shells together. I want a banana. I need 2 shells for you. You go to the beach, you go do that work, you go find those 2 shells for me, and then we trade a banana for it, right? So, what's the difference between that and tokens, right? So it's just that we're now on a more open network where we can interact with individuals anywhere in the world. And this is the community this is the type of token that we choose to interact with and, exchange with on our particular project.
Which makes sense. But the only difference that I see between those two types of scenarios is that one's easier to attract than the other.
That is true. Yeah. But that's the way that we're heading, So
yeah, of course. Which makes sense. And I mean, as long as it works for you guys and it's stable and there's nothing, because I mean, there are, one, we all know that there's regulations to be coming soon, but 2, I mean, the SEC is already starting to crack down on things that they believe could be securities. So I mean, if there was a day to come where they crack down on the whole entire HBAR ecosystem for selling these security tokens with projects, that would be unfortunate. But in reality, who knows what could happen, It's just an idea to keep on the table because at the end of the day, all options are still left on the table with Web3.
Correct. And I'll be honest with you, my particular view on the future is they're there to set a standard and then, include taxation, right?
Of course. Yeah.
I think their goal is at the end of the day is they want to cut, right? You know, I was listening on a Twitter Spaces with the foundation with somebody brought up the question with India. India just did a flat tax. They're like 30% right off the bat. If you make profit, 30%. You make a sale, 30%. So that's even if you're doing, you know, trading crypto, or if you're doing NFT, you got to track it. You got to track your cost basis, and then you got to report that and give them their cut 30%. It might not be that clear cut, you know, in other regions, but hey, I think eventually that's what's going to happen.
And something else most people don't understand about the government is not going to arrest everybody that's doing tokens or nothing, because first it has to be a warning. It has to be a law set, whereas you violated that law, you committed a crime that's already of an existing law, but there's no law existing right now for tokenization. So that law will have to be created. Then you have to violate that law consistently after that for them to come crack down and say, okay, this is it. All you guys are going to jail.
Yeah, Tate, I'm coming for you, man. Like, you got that NFT in your wallet, I'm coming for you.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine. The only thing they'll know about me is my wallet address. They won't know anything else, you know? But hey, I lost it in a boating accident.
Lost my ledger in a fishing accident. That is a classic.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, no, if they're going to be coming for anybody, they're going to be coming for me too. Because I may or may not have like one or two HBAR NFTs.
Hey, listen. my profile picture is a JPEG, so yeah.
Fair. That's fair. Oh my gosh. So do you guys have anything else planned for Pandamania here coming up in the near future? I know you have all kinds of like off the wall ideas, Vaughn. It's always fun to talk to you.
Yes, man. That's the thing. Everything's going to tie. Oh my gosh. I would say this. I'm just trying to build up for a big New Year's celebration. I would say that's going to be our next big event, New Year's. I'm
cool.
I already talked to Celestia about it. That's where we're trying to build up for a big New Year celebration. I would say that.
And remember, like, the discussions you have with Vaughn, right, with his ideas, I am the one who have to like control and rein him back in.
Yeah. You have to make sure that his head's still on.
Yeah, I don't think we got budget for that. All right. Let's see if we can move these funds around here. All right, here. All right.
Do we have the infrastructure for this?
Sometimes the ideas are like off the wall, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I think this can work. All right, let me run the numbers a little bit. Let's check the Panda Reserve. Let's see if this can work. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is feasible. Let's do this. Should we do this? And I was like, I can see your finger, like your clicking finger is getting, trigger happy here, Ron. I'm like, all right, here, you use this amount and just that. Don't use anything else. So I got to rein them in sometime. But definitely, I think it's a great idea that we want to do the celebration for the community. And we just got to deliver, as I've always said. And working with Vaughn on the project and all the moderators that have joined the team, it's been a great, working together with everyone. And I also want to shout out to everyone who's a part of the community. They've helped us sell out on all of the collections so far. And, thank you for putting the trust in us. And, we're doing our best to keep this project going for as long as possible. We've been, I don't know, like over a year now. I think we're approaching a year now.
Yeah, October make the year.
Yeah. So, that's our objective, to keep growing.
Tate, you're muted, by the way.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just keep growing, keep the engagement up, and keep adding value to the community.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, Celeste, are you essentially like the Binks of Panda Syndicate, of where like you're the bookkeeper, you're also the all right, you need to chill out with the super crazy ideas.
Yes, definitely, and much respect to Binks. She knows my pain. But
She's the master bookkeeper.
yeah,
Always
so
impressed.
yeah, that's definitely been my role. Media with you guys, media on Twitter, making presence known, and keeping Vaughn in check where we don't go crazy. Because I think it's the worst thing to happen to a project is to run out of funds, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then you're really restricted. So
Yeah.
we've done our best to diversify, the tokens that we use. We don't try and just all stay in HBAR. We have our own token. We have H Suite. We're partnering with the Creamies project. We partnered also with Saucer Swap, where we were launched on their platform for hash mingles and token exchanges. So we even did like the initial liquidity there for those two pairs for HBAR and Sauce. So and we worked with the team to make sure that the H mingles is legit and was available on their platform so people can get access to it. So
yeah.
We're a well-known member in the community. We're trying to, be a pillar of one of those spots that, if they have any questions or concerns, they say, okay, we can come to the Animania team and be pointed in the right direction. So.
Yeah, that totally works. Now, I have a very, very serious question for you guys. If you partner with Creamies, does your voice automatically drop a few decibels and get a bit deeper?
Well, then let's figure it out.
It gets deeper.
Hey, but
you just go full witness protection, and then you suddenly have the urge to sell all of your NFTs. I feel like that's the.
Hey, money's the
that's what happens.
Oh no.
Tough question, because I will say this. There was a Twitter post that I responded to recently, right? And they basically said like, I haven't seen the HBAR ranking for like what's a whale status anymore. And for people who are listening, like the people started out very early on in uptake for Hedera. There's a site called hash.hash.tools, I think, and basically it gives you a ranking based on your wallet. So
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, one of my wallets is like your ranking is like I'm in the top 3,000. At one point, I was like in the top 2,000. So I said, "Oh, doesn't this consist of whale status anymore?" And he's like, "No, all of your HBAR is locked up in NFTs." So yeah, no, I don't think we'll be selling any NFTs anytime soon. Like, I think it's become a permanent part of my collection. I think so.
Yeah.
So it was grading it off of how much HBAR you held rather than the
so
quality of NFT.
Yeah, if you held straight HBAR, which is like say 200,000 HBAR, you would have been ranked in the top 3,000. If you hold 1 million, you'd have been in the top 500 or something. So yeah,
makes sense.
It's cool.
It was an HBAR rich list.
Yeah, that is a similar thing too. I'm pretty sure actually, don't most chains have that as well?
Yeah, I believe so. So what are you guys, this is kind of off topic, what are your guys' thoughts with the new ETH merge that just has been completed?
I think it solves one problem. It doesn't solve all the problems that they had before.
Of course, yeah.
I think also it is just, I'll be honest with you. I think they made a bad move. For a network like Hedera and what we're doing, I think they just put a nail in their grave for Ethereum, because then projects or DLT platforms like Hedera become more viable options, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't really solve the problem of your fees. You only solved the problem of your electricity, your energy usage.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, so what's the difference between Ethereum and HBAR or Hedera, right? And then people are going to actually really start taking a closer look. And the migration like how we've been seeing a lot of people from Solana migrate over to Hedera. I think a lot of the Ethereum people are going to be like, it's going to be very easier for us to migrate to Hedera. And then that's where speculation comes on price, because I've never expected this to happen. But, like some people's price prediction, like, HBAR will be probably like low $2 to $5 range within the next couple of, year or two. But I think with the ETH merge, that could be blown out of the water. I mean, let's say like in the next 8 years or so. It depends on how quickly people adopt it, but it could be sooner. Could be sooner. But I don't think it was a good move, in my opinion.
Well, I think they needed to do it though, because in reality, if we save the energy consumption, that will help the rest of the world. But then it'll also help eyes realize that they cannot fix the gas fees.
Yeah, I think
which is a major factor, because like the more activity on the network, the more fees you'll be receiving. And like that, nobody wants to pay fees. Nobody wants to pay $100 in gas fees whenever you have to pay $100 just to buy the NFT.
Yeah, or move a token around.
Yeah. I mean, so I think it's a positive and a negative, but in reality, we needed that positive. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean,
just for the ecosystem to grow even more, and people can't like portray that negative contradiction on ETH anymore. They can't be like, well, it's destroying the earth. No, it doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's just Bitcoin now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still gold.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see this on the record. Celestial Bean is biased towards Hedera.
Wow, who would have known?
Yeah. Right? Because here's my thing. I came onto this network. It took fractions to do transfers. I've tried doing, using Hashport and, bridging those tokens over, and the experience with Hashport was very good, but the cost, and the cost sucked, right? And it's not Hashport's fault. It's, the tokens, which is based on Ethereum. So, I can't get over that. I was so happy when Salsa Swap came online. People start porting over the assets, and I just strictly buy HBAR now and just swap. I no longer go on the exchange and buy like Ether tokens or anything that's based on a blockchain token. Sorry, all HDS tokens going forward now. So
and
just
you
easier.
will soon buy HBAR on Coinbase.
Oh, listen, that's some good news right there. We
That's
just have to be
great news.
That's great news, yeah.
I'm wondering if we'll see a real big spike increase in the price once this is listed.
Oh, well.
Typically it does. Typically yeah, I know. But nobody will really know exactly when it's going to be listed, I guess.
Yeah, if you look at the charge pre-announcement, it ran up. It ran up to like 7 cents.
Yeah.
I can only imagine when everyone has access. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's being delayed, but it's not on the Hedera side. It's on the Coinbase side. I won't criticize Coinbase for this, delay, but they did the right research.
They just had a bunch of layoffs too, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. They had some reorganization.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who
knows what's next though? Coinbase lists HBAR. Coinbase has its own marketplace for NFTs. If HBAR is on the marketplace just for tokens, who says they can't bring on NFTs?
Imagine if they did that with XRP as well.
I mean, it's a very great possibility, but XRP has to get over this lawsuit first.
And that's unfortunate. I mean,
but people are starting to realize the power within Ripple. Like every single time they have some new meeting with this lawsuit, there's always more power on Ripple's side than there was before. It just continues just to stack and stack and stack, and then the next thing you know, Ripple's going to be kicking the SEC off the mound.
The only fear I have for the XRP community and the token is that like the government can always push the goalpost, meaning like they can always kind of like tweak the rules and tweak
Power
this.
to the people, Celestial. Power to the people.
I agree, but technically this should have been an open and shut case already in favor of XRP. That's my opinion. I don't know why this has been dragging on for so long.
We're dealing with the United States government.
Hey, Tay, that was literally my answer.
Yeah. Because we're dealing with the U.S.
Yeah, the SEC keeps stalling, and Judge Torres is just beyond over it. It's so much fun reading the stuff she puts out. You can just tell how done she is with them. Because like Ripple will respond like very, very quickly. Like if she asks for documents or something, Ripple will be like, okay, here you go. And then she'll ask the SEC for something 4 times, and she still won't get like the document she requested. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. But then like if the government breaks the law, is there a law that's broken if it's from the government who actually enforces it? Question mark?
Nope. It's like the judge literally owns XRP now. That's what it's like. She just wants her bags to go up. Like, I've been waiting too long. I can't hold this back anymore.
Yeah, if we decide to do an investment, right? And like a situation happens like this with like XRP, I would, I don't want to be in that situation where I regret. I was like, all right, you know what, this happens, then I, sell my bag, and then there's a decision that happens, and I could have been, a more better off in the future if I just held, right? So, I mean, people should diversify, but I don't think you should give up, because there's someone out there who's been like, oh, I've been waiting for you to sell your bag to me. Right. And as soon as, Tate sells his, million XRP, oh, yep, the lawsuit's over. XRP wins. And you're like, oh, no, I sold my bag.
That's when you feel
my prediction,
the knife.
That's when you feel
the knife in your heart.
Mark this down. XRP wins the lawsuit March 2023. Next year.
All right.
Another 6-7 months.
Oh,
you heard it.
So over it.
I don't mean the predictions.
It's a good prediction, but my prediction would have to be, I think the lawsuit could be coming to an end by the end of this year. No later than New Year's, in my opinion.
They drag it out, man. All the judges go to vacation and stuff on the holidays. They drag it out bad holiday time.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing to think about too is like a lot of the stuff going on in like the back end for integration. So for ISO 20022 compliance and all that stuff going live. And then also the FedNow payment system also didn't get undelayed. I'm pretty sure it was delayed. And then I remember, I forget who it was, but they're one of the members of the Fed. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be live sooner. Like it's everything's going to plan. And I'm like, okay. And everybody's just trying to guess like, all right, what's the government going to use for the CBDC? Is it going to be Ripple or is it going to be XRP based? Is it going to be, JP Morgan's making their own coin? Is it going to be from their whatever system they're cooking up?
Yep.
It's probably not going to be great, but
you ever heard of MTech? I believe MTech was working with America's federal government building the CBDC.
Yeah, I think they have the digital dollar project.
I think
they actually started testing.
MTech is actually a big supporter of HBAR. I didn't want to say that out loud, but yeah, I believe they love HBAR. They tested it with HBAR.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I think there is ample space within the ecosystem for other competitors. I personally think XRP and HBAR are one of the 2 best options for those type of use cases, right? They all have their niche, right? But I, definitely don't think, any of those um, countries will be using, Bitcoin to do,
Ugh,
no.
gross.
I think the digital gold thing, that narrative that they've been selling, I think that's pretty close to, a good use case for them. I don't see anybody or any token dethroning Bitcoin for the foreseeable future. But every project has its niche. You just have to keep that consistency, keep the network up, keep your costs down, and I think they'll thrive. Like HBAR used to be, ranked 2,000, was like 200 or something, or 300.
It was far down. It was really far down.
And now we're like floating in top 40, 41, depending on coin markets cap, current circulating supply.
Yeah.
If they have accurate or not. So
next thing you know, keep on taking spots. We'll be in the top 30s and top 20s, and who knows, maybe top 10.
Yeah, definitely. And even I'll even add for the XRP that when a lot of exchanges delisted XRP, they thought it would have gone away.
No,
right?
No, they thought. They didn't know.
They thought.
What are we still sitting at, like top 4?
No, probably closer to like top 7.
Oh yeah, you're right.
6. Yeah, because you got the stable coins and stuff too, and their market cap's giant. So, it is what it is. But no, I don't even think it's that either, because you can delist it from American exchanges, but like there's a whole world out there.
There's a whole Eastern Central world, The Western side might not be able to utilize XRP, but everywhere else can.
Exactly. And it's like the magic's out of the bag. Everybody can create value and build a community. So now it's not just restricted to one region anymore. So I think that's the wave of the future. I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm here for it.
Me too, Celestial. Me too.
Me too.
Well, Celestial and Vaughn, it's been a true pleasure. I mean, if there's anything else you guys would like to add on top of all this great information you've provided to us, by all means. But we appreciate you both coming on once again. We're really happy to have you guys. You guys are our first project to have on twice now. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Sorry. Had to do the applause, man. That's accomplishment. I feel accomplished now.
Get the golf clap.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put that in our roadmap.
Yeah.
First, be on Alt Kings twice.
Not one time, 2 times.
2 times.
I just want to close out by saying, thanks to everyone. Thanks for everyone who's listening to the podcast. Really appreciate that. Like and subscribe. And, we appreciate everyone in the community as well. Thanks for supporting. And, we're here for everyone. We all have day jobs, but we all have gone full NFT. But listen, we contributed our time, effort, resources and stuff like that. So we really appreciate it.
Going back to back.
Hey, one thing before you go. Tate, how can I get an Alt Kings hat, man? I love that cap.
I'll make something happen for you.
Okay.
I've been contemplating throwing up a merch website, but just trying to make sure everything is right. Because I want to do some more exquisite merch rather than just this logo on a t-shirt or something. I want to add some cool stuff to it.
Makes sense.
He just wants to have that one. I see.
Yeah. I want make sure when you send it, you and Rudon both sign it.
All right. Well, that's going to be a little more difficult since we're in 2 different states now. But yeah, we can see what we can make happen.
All right. Thank you.
Don't worry, we have a box truck. We can get the logistics.
Yeah, you're right.
That'd be the first partnership. That's awesome.
It's been a true pleasure.
All right, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you next episode. Peace.